Now, I've been into some detail on bullet points and bullet point structure, but I wanted to underline it with a very specific dedicated video once more. So feel free to skip. I think this is important. It's a skill, this creating these bullet points, and it's difficult. It's not easy. So I wanted just to go in again and say, how do I do this? And typically this is how I would do it, right? I like this two words in bold, right? We are bullet pointed. We're not narrative. We're not paragraphs, okay? We're writing in third person, okay? We're not talking about me, the individual, necessarily. We're never referring to me, right? Because the whole thing is referring to me. Two words, maybe three, sometimes four if the small words, right? Okay. And then that is summarizing the bullet point here on 2 lines. Okay. So reporting dashboards is in bold. Why? Because that can guide my eye. We've no guarantee how the individual is going to look, read, or scan your CV. We just don't. But we try and make it as easy as possible by having 2 words, for example, right? This is my preference. Doesn't mean it's right, just my preference, where you're pointing out 2 words that matter. So in this case, a data analyst, dashboards can often be something that matters, right? Reporting dashboards. Now, this reporting dashboard, these 2 words may come from, or you may have that because the job specification, the advertisement, says we are expecting, one of the things we're expecting to do is create dashboards for us. So it's quite useful then if you've got one of your first bullet points in response to that to be 2 words bold, so I can scan up and down here, I can see this. If I care about these 2 keywords, I can then read the detail. So the rest of the non-bold bit is the detail for this summary. Now notice 2 sentences, right? Everything is 2 sentences. I've done that for consistency. I feel it's easier to scan. And we do want things to be consistent. Now, I've also, as you can see right here, I've put in a different approach here just to show you if you want to focus people's attention on some very specific achievements, use this approach, right? So in this case, Tableau being a reporting system or a software tool, implemented 40 dashboards using Tableau on behalf of within 90 days. So this is me, these numbers and this date here, this is me quantifying how good I am, right? But then I also want to, in this case, I want to give you even more of a flavor. And I'm so proud of it, right, that I'm using of the time, right, your airtime, your attention, when you're reading my CV, to say this system, I'm just making this stuff up here, right? So I've specified out, and that might be because in the job spec, it said we want people who have had lots of different reporting capability or experience or something, right? There's something that's motivated me to actually break this form a little bit, right? To go in, then all I'm doing is, but standard Word has a standard, that's just the next bullet point, then I'm pressing tab. So I'm using standard approach so that I can then start typing, okay? This, I think, is useful if there's anything in particular you want to highlight, because we are using, this is really important space, right, that we're using in your CV. Think carefully about it, right? Because often it is better if it's just a whole lot of detail that I can scan down. But sometimes it's useful to break that. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with having that then, and then here we would then have, it then might be 2. Okay, now I am preferring that 2 sentence, 2 sentence, 2 sentence. I think it's good to scan, but you can break it purposefully. Okay, if you want to really go in and list something specific or some very specific achievements related to that thing, you may, for example, what you can do is we can take this bit, and in fact I can take the whole bullet point, and if you want to keep it nice and consistent, you can have the last one then finishes with some detail. There is no right and wrong answer here, but I wanted to go into a bit more depth on how to lay these bullet points out.